The story of Saint Valentine. Saint Valentine was a man who lived long, long ago in ancient Rome. He lived in a house that was not one of the large ones with the marble and the columns, but a small room above the busy shops. Saint Valentine was a doctor, and in his rooms he had herbs and things to heal people. And often he would take the herbs and crush them to make medicine. His patients would come to him, and sometimes they couldn't pay. But that was okay. He took whatever they brought. Sometimes they brought a loaf of bread or some sandals. Now, Saint Valentine was also a priest, but he had to be very quiet about that, because in those days in Rome, it was dangerous to be a Christian, and you could be arrested for being a Christian. Claudius, the emperor, at one time declared that all marriages should cease. Claudius was trying to get soldiers for his army, and he felt that soldiers would be better soldiers if they weren't married, if they weren't thinking about their wife and their children. So he outlawed all marriages. But Valentine felt that marriage was very important. And so in secret, people would come to him and he would perform marriages because he knew that it was the right thing to do. And even though he knew it was dangerous, he kept doing it. Now one day, an old man and a young girl came to Saint Valentine. The young girl had been blind since birth, and her father was hoping that Saint Valentine could heal her. Valentine knew it would be very difficult because she had been blind for so long. But he took his mortar and pestle, and he made some medicine to put on her eyes. And it did help her eyes feel better. It soothed and cooled them. The old man wanted to give something to Valentine for his trouble, but Valentine said, "No, I want this as a gift for your daughter." Well, Saint Valentine and the girl became friends, and they would often walk around the outskirts of the city gathering herbs for medicine. The girl loved to pick flowers, especially crocuses, the first flower to bloom after winter. She would take them to her father. Well, one day when Saint Valentine was in his room, he heard a loud pounding at the door, and he wasn't sure who it was. He hoped it was the girl, but then the door burst open, and it was the Roman soldiers come to arrest him for performing marriages and for being a Christian. They took him to the jail in Rome, and he was surprised to find there the old man who was the jailer. The old man was so sad because Saint Valentine had been so kind to them, and he didn't know what to do. Well, Saint Valentine was in prison for quite a while, and during that time the girl would come to him and bring him flowers that she had picked outside the city. And Saint Valentine would read to her and teach her all sorts of things she had never learned about mathematics and about nature and about the history of the great Roman city. She came to love Saint Valentine and appreciate his quiet strength. Well, one day, the Roman soldiers came to take Saint Valentine on February 14th to carry out his sentence. The old man was so upset because he knew he wouldn't see him again. And before Saint Valentine was led away, he asked for a pen and a paper so he could write a note to the little girl. Inside the note, he tucked a flower that she had given him. he was led away. Later that day, the girl came, and her father gave her the note. She unwrapped it, and she said, "Father, read it to me. What does it say?" And as he opened the note, a flower fell to the floor. And the note said, "From your Valentine." When the girl leaned down to pick up the flower, she realized that she could see it. Her vision had been restored. And so it is, on February 14th, we remember Saint Valentine because he loved so well and was so brave in his love.